Hello and welcome to my new IGTV venture, which is going to be a series of videos about the upcoming exhibition at the National Gallery of Titian's Poesie. 6 paintings, very, very exciting. You are going to want to go and see this exhibition. Firstly, because they are probably the most beautiful paintings anywhere in the world. And secondly, because they are all together at the same time in presumably the same room for the first time in centuries. And thirdly, because through these videos, you're already going to know a lot about them by the time you go to the exhibition, so you're going to get loads out of it. It's going to be amazing. So, what are Titian's Poesie? Who are they made for? Why are they so exciting? This is what we're going to be discussing over the course of the next few weeks in the run-up to the exhibition, weaving in the themes that are very much prevalent in these paintings, the themes of desire, very beyond the palette, transgression, very beyond the palette, and a little bit of violence, actually, it has to be said, not quite so beyond the palette. So what are Titian's Poesie paintings? Well, they are paintings that aspire essentially to the sensuality and to the lyricism of poetry, which was really, and these kind of poems in the Renaissance era were held in the highest of esteem. So this is what Titian was trying to do, and the material that he was using was from Ovid's Metamorphoses. Ovid, being a Roman poet from 8 AD, wrote this fantastic book, Metamorphoses. Read it if you haven't. That talks about Greek mythology, essentially. So already good material there, all kind of quite juicy material with Greek mythology. They were made for Philip II of Spain. Now, Philip II of Spain wasn't king at the time that he met Titian. He met Titian twice. The second time being in 1550, over the winter of 1551. He met Titian when he was still regent. And so he was quite a young man. Titian, on the other hand, was in his 60s by this point, so he was a very, very established artist. Now, they'd already sort of worked up a bit of a rapport before this winter. They had met before, but I like to think that it was over glasses of wine, you know, wrapped in furs, that they had all of these discussions about the potential of a commission that would be extremely erotic in nature. This wouldn't have been so much of a surprise for followers of Titian. Titian was very well known for his nudes. It was said that he painted bare bones over with flesh until basically all that was lacking was that the flesh actually breathed and came to life. I mean, God, what a fantastic thing to say about paintings. I'm getting goosebumps a little bit. So it was probably this knowledge of Titian's nudes that maybe, I don't know, seduced Philip II in the first place. Philip II, on the other hand, was to all intents and purposes a very austere, very severe gentleman. Ambassadors to Spain actually found it quite hard to say anything nice about him. But this was the exterior. He was quite a shy person, so this is probably a mask that he wore. But you know, in his private life, he had 4 wives, one of whom actually was Mary I of England. And also numerous mistresses. So in his private life, obviously there was something a little bit more sexy going on about Philip II. And so they met. And so they had these discussions, and we don't know what was said, but the upshot was that Philip gave Titian this commission with a fairly unprecedented amount of control as to what he was going to produce. And then the first paintings began to arrive, or were sent to Philip II of Spain just a year or so later. So we're going to discuss these paintings in the order that they were produced. So the first one was Danae, possibly the sexiest painting ever painted, still to this date. It's fantastic. And then Venus and Adonis, and then Perseus and Andromeda, Diana and Actaeon, Diana and Callisto, and then finally the Rape of Europa. I look forward to talking to you, or talking about them with you and on these videos. Bye for now.